What, excuse me. What is up, Mom Nation? Happy Tuesday. It's time for our Tuesday check-in. My name is Erin. If you are new here, and this is Energy Shift with Erin, where we go over mindset, body, health, wellness, all things that are going to help you feel more in control of your life, your body composition, your family, your meals, all of those things. And today, we're going to dive into some mindset hacks and routine shifts that are going to help you feel more in alignment with your day, more in control of your environment, and help you reach your goals or just get through the summer. I know there's a lot of moms that are super stressed in the summer months and the kids are home from school, your schedule is off, you're vacationing, there are more events going on. It can feel like while we're having fun, it can feel super chaotic. And I was talking to one of my clients this morning who recently left a job at U of A at a big university that was high stress. She's a mom of two and married, wife, mom, business owner, previous professor at U of A. And she's feeling very disconnected with herself. And we were talking about foundational pillars for your day that will help you stay in alignment with whatever it is you have to get through. And this doesn't have to be stressful. This can be as simple as, like, for her, she does not any longer, her kids are older, I believe in their like early teenage years. So she does have to get up and get them up and them off to school, but it's different than obviously toddlers or younger children. Believe they take the bus, so she can just navigate breakfast with them, make sure they're dressed, they have their backpacks, that kind of thing. So it's a little bit less stressful. And usually she would be going to her university job. So she's trying to get the kids out the door, trying to get herself out the door, and trying to work on food for the day, those kinds of things, all of the things that usually make us super stressed out. She's no longer doing that, but she still feels stressed out because she had these pillars that you don't even recognize that you have. So this, if you're a stay-at-home mom or you're a working mom, this can work in both situations, especially if you feel like you are in a place of chaos and you just need to ground yourself. So we're calling these anchors, and she's working on her anchors right now as we speak and is going to send them back to me. And I thought this would be a good thing to talk about here too, so that you guys can also work on your anchors. I will give you my own example. So a previous version of myself was a restaurant operations manager. I worked 6-7 days a week. If you've worked in restaurants, it's crazy. Even when I wasn't working, I was working. So I was at the restaurant by 7 a.m. most mornings, if not earlier. I would work until the lunch rush was over, go home, take a quick nap, go to the gym, go home and shower real quick, and then go back to work for dinner. So it was constantly busy. And then the pandemic happened and I resigned from the position that I was in. It was not a good place for me to be. And I started my own business. Well, it was great. I had that flexibility. I was able to make my own schedule. I'm a little bit type A, so I completely overdid it at first, feeling like I had to stay within that confines of always being busy. And if you're like me, you may be anxious when life calms down a little bit, which is what I wanted. And this is also what my client wanted. So we're kind of in the same place. I just am a few years ahead of her. She is fine financially. She still has to work hard, but she's not in a place where she has to stress out. She has 2 jobs. She owns 2 companies. She's good. And I was sort of in the same place. I was a little bit more strapped. I wasn't planning on a pandemic. So I wasn't planning on leaving my job until that happened, like a lot of us during that time frame. But anyway, So I felt a lot of stress and anxiety because I went from having every moment of my day pretty much planned out at least 5 days a week to kind of this more fluid schedule. And so I determined that I really needed to set anchors in my day. And this especially was helpful for me when I transitioned from I used to see people clients in person from like 5:30 in the morning until 6 p.m. at night. That was me overloading my schedule once again. What my ultimate goal was to be fully remote, 100% online, which I am now, and that happened about almost 2 years ago now. In September, it'll be 2 years that I went fully remote. But as soon as I did that, I felt an extreme amount of anxiety. I had no structure to my day. Yes, my clients were being taken care of, but I didn't have like a time or a place that I needed to be in the morning, something to get up for, make sure I was dressed out the door. And that's what I wanted, right? And a lot of us feel this way, whether you have a job or you're a stay-at-home mom. You are in the position that you want to be, but you still don't feel rooted or grounded. So we have to set wellness pillars, and or for me, it is somewhat wellness and somewhat business related, but they all kind of meld together so that I can have these things throughout my day to make it like have a little bit of a structure, a little bit of foundation while still being flexible. And what that looks like for me is first thing in the morning, I get up, I go downstairs, I get my cup of coffee, and I come back upstairs and write my email for my business. It's also my main Facebook post for the day. I like to write, so I write long form. It takes me about an hour. I can sip on my coffee. I'm in bed usually, or like chilling on the couch, somewhere comfy, just kind of easing into the day, but I'm setting that pillar. For my client, her pillar, because she used to have to run out the door, is making herself breakfast and tracking her breakfast and her dinner so that she knows she has a fat loss goal currently, what her caloric allotment is for the rest of the day. That's going to be her morning pillar. For me, my afternoon is every single day, 7 days a week at 2 p.m. I have my calendar blocked out for the gym. I do not work out 7 days a week. I'm at the gym 4, sometimes 5 if it's hot and I go walk on the treadmill or whatever the case may be. But I have that blocked off 7 out of 7 days of the week, just in case something comes up and I need to move my workout to a different day. So that's pillar number 2. So usually right before that, I'm going to have lunch. I know that I want to eat sometime between 12:30 and 1 most days, so that when I get to the gym at 2, I have digested and I'm not like working out with a lump of food in my belly, right? And then I'm done with my work day usually by 6 p.m. and that's when we have dinner. So I'm not talking about like these extreme things. It doesn't have to be overly stressful, but it's just something that you do 3 times a day that will anchor you and ground you into your routine. And the reason why we want to do this is because most of us are overwhelmed with extreme decision fatigue. I think they say that we make somewhere around 4,000 to 7,000 decisions every single day. And it starts with I'm going to show you my phone, but your alarm going off in the morning. Do you hit snooze? Do you have to get up right away? What are you going to make for breakfast? Which coffee creamer are you going to use? Which way are you going to go to work? What are you going to wear to work? Do you have to help kids get dressed? Are we picking out clothes for them? Like, all of these things are happening. We don't even realize that they're happening. And so if we allow ourselves to be grounded and rooted 3 times a day, and it can be, I told her too, it can be as simple as like maybe at 2 p.m. you just have the cup of tea that you like. And so you can just sit with yourself, reflect on your day, whatever it is that you need to do, like look at your schedule, add in your walk, add in your workout, add in your food prep, add in grocery shopping, whatever, have that time with yourself every day to lower the decision fatigue, start to plan out part of your week, especially things that really stress you out. And often for people, that's things like house cleaning, laundry, meal prep, grocery shopping, kids activities. And if you have these rooted times to give yourself the opportunity to plan, you're going to feel way less stressed out. Another thing that I do is I have similar sleep wake times. If you can do this, I know everybody has kids of different ages. So some people are going to be at the mercy of children waking up and sleeping times. But if you don't have that, this is highly important. And I talked about this a few weeks ago when we talked about sleep and sleeping better. Our bodies, so mentally, we struggle with routine, but physically we thrive in a routine. And depending on your personality type, I'm a little bit more type A, so I really thrive in a routine. I literally can get up, eat the same thing. I don't remember like having a different breakfast I've eaten the same breakfast for months now, unless we've gone out to eat. So I just get up, I have my coffee, I do my email, I eat the same breakfast, I work until sometime around 1, I'll have lunch, go to the gym, come back home, finish up any work that I need to get done, and then have dinner. And literally my lunch is very, very similar too. Recently it's been cottage cheese bowls because it's hot and I don't feel like having anything warm. But anyway, the more that you can get into whatever routine works best for you, and again, creating these anchors, creating these pillars within your life. And it should be mostly for you if you can do that. And that's why I say like something as simple as just 30 minutes, cup of tea, planning out dinners for the week, or planning out whatever causes you to feel stressed, and you're rooted and you're grounded in your routine. So you know that when 2:00 hits, it's time to go for your walk, have your cup of tea, plan your meal for the night, whatever that looks like for you. So highly encourage 3 times a day. It's going to also help with your sleep. It's going to help with your circadian rhythm. Have something that you do first thing in the morning. That could be making yourself a smoothie to take. That could be making your lunch. That could be like setting up some intentions or reading for 10 minutes, or like whatever it is that you have time for in your schedule, and what will help you feel connected to yourself, to your day. You don't have to make the decision. You're going to do it every single day, and it can be fluid, right? So what I mean by that is, because I knew that I needed a little bit more flexibility in my mind, because I like I said, I tend to be more on the type A side. I had to give myself permission to embrace my entrepreneur life, okay? Which meant that like I didn't have to be at a building at 6:35 a.m. sharp Monday through Friday. I don't have to do that. Do I still want to wake up at similar times every day? But let's say I don't sleep well. I have the opportunity to maybe sleep an extra hour. I'll take that, but I'm still going to get up. I'm still going to write my email for the day. I'm still going to have my cup of coffee. I'm still going to have my pug next to me. That is how I start almost every single day, at least Monday through Friday. And then the weekends, sometimes I get up and write. Sometimes I get up and chill. It really depends on how the week went and what I have going on. Like entrepreneur life, we're working all the time. So if I have work to do, I may do a little bit of work, but I try mostly to keep my weekends for me. So start to determine where you have the most stress in your day, and let's create some anchors, some foundations that you can utilize in order to feel more in control, and also have something that you look forward to. Again, like for me, going to the gym is something that I like doing. For you, it might be getting on your Peloton. It might be getting on your walking pad. It might be sitting. Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be active or productive. It can be if that's part of your goal and that's what you need to do. But if you're chasing around a toddler all day, maybe it's when your husband gets home and can play with the baby for 30 minutes to 45 minutes so you can just sit and chill and read your book, whatever that looks like for you. And I swear it helps with stress. It helps with overwhelm. It helps with decision fatigue. It's going to give you a lot more structure in your day if you feel like you're out of control, especially in the summer months. And you can manipulate this throughout the year too, to accommodate different goals that you might have, to accommodate different schedules and times based on what the family has going on. But trying to keep yourself in a position where you have 3 anchors throughout your day in order to prioritize you, or just feeling grounded, feeling like you're in connection with whatever it is that you need. For her, it's not feeling guilty about not really having a schedule, because she's now fully 100% self-employed. She doesn't have to worry as much about being anywhere at a certain time, but that feels really weird to her. And I know, like, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I have talked to so many women, and the summer months just really kind of mess them up with kids being off schedule and having to, take them to camps or go on vacations, going to Disney, all of these things that we do over the summer that, again, are fun, but can be stressful. So give yourself those 3 pillars. And I would love to hear what they are. If you want to share them with me, if you want to comment on this video once it's posted in the group, that would be great. Just keep ourselves accountable. It is proven that if we speak our goals and our intentions out loud, we are more likely to follow through with them. So if you tell people, and you tell people publicly what your intentions are, what your goals are, what you're going to do, you are more likely to follow through. And having the community support, which is something that I love about this group, is everybody is very supportive. Everybody's very kind. Katie has built this environment of so much inclusivity and support for moms who, of all different levels of, working, staying at home, young moms, middle-aged moms, moms with grown kids. And we're here to support you and to help you figure out how to reach your goals, troubleshoot. Like, I know she has information on what to do if you're going through a divorce. She has information, like everything that you need is here. I'm getting a little bit off course here, but just utilizing this group is huge too. So maybe that can be one of your pillars for the week, is get involved in something here at Mom Nation. We have a business moms group. If you are an entrepreneur like myself, I would love to connect with you. We're going to do some lead gen stuff. These are also things that really help with overwhelm and stress, is really getting involved in a community. A lot of us feel like we're on an island alone. I know that I do often, and having the support of other women is vital. So that could be something that you do too, even if it's just a once a week anchor, is meeting up or connecting with another mom or another entrepreneur, or whatever the case may be, giving yourself the permission to connect with what you need, as opposed to like all of the things that you need to get done throughout the duration of a week, which is a ton of stuff that we all do. Okay, so we're going to create our anchors. We are going to focus on less overwhelm. We are going to give ourselves permission to have a few minutes in our day for ourselves to plan out times that are highly stressful. My brain is a little bit fried. I'm also doing a challenge in one of my other Facebook groups. If you're not in that, feel free to come over and join us there as well if you're interested in health, wellness, and fat loss. But I've been doing a lot of lives this week, so I'm kind of all over the place. I apologize. But really what I wanted you to get out of this is, one, if you are feeling overwhelmed right now, you are not alone. Two, you can create anchors that will help with your mindset, that will help you feel more in control. Those could even be meals, right? They could be breakfast, lunch, and dinner anchors. You just plan those out. And those are already built into your day in most cases. So that makes it easy. It's like, so we're going to plan out breakfasts for the whole week, for getting the kids out the door, for you if you have to go to work, for you if you're at home, and then move on to the next meal. We're going to have lunches planned out for the week. We're going to have dinners planned out for the week. Include a meal out in there if that's something that you do as a family. Have your meal times planned out. Those could be your anchors without even having to consider anything else. And I know from experience that if you just simply have a little bit more direction when it comes to food, you're going to feel a lot less stressed. And that is biological. Okay. The body likes to be on a schedule. Like I said earlier, we tend to fight routine mentally because we think that it like traps us into a box, but our bodies thrive in a routine. The more that you're eating similar foods, the more that you're eating nourishing foods, the more that you are exercising regularly, the more that you are going to sleep at similar times, waking up at similar times, the more that we're getting off the phone before bed, the more, like we give ourselves the opportunity to have a few minutes for ourselves. All of those things are going to add up to less stress, less decision fatigue, more time to invest in what really matters, which is spending time with your family, spending time with yourself, being able to enjoy life and not feel like you are constantly in this, I feel like we get ourselves into this place where we're all in this world of everything is left up to chance, or everything is done on a whim. And that is highly stressful. That adds more decisions to the day. So if you think about it, especially when we're considering food, you can, if you don't know what you're going to have for breakfast and you get up and you're looking in the cabinet and nothing sounds good and you're tired still, you didn't sleep well the night before, you're probably going to choose something that maybe not in alignment with your goals, or maybe isn't going to make you feel as good, or maybe you skip it altogether instead of just having it planned. I have an egg white scramble planned for the morning. It's already ready to go. All I have to do is throw it into the pan and cook it up, throw some cheese on it, good to go. Same thing for the lunch meal and the dinner meal. If you are nourished, you are going to feel a lot less stress. You're not going to have as much, the cortisol in your body will not spike as much. You're not going to have those midday crashes. Oftentimes, if you are having, I was talking to another client today, actually, and she was experiencing, or is experiencing, some pretty extreme midday crashes in energy, 2-3 o'clock. And when I look back at her food logs, I noticed that her breakfast was somewhere between 90 to 250 calories total. If you think about that, you go to bed, you have dinner, and then you go to bed. So let's say you sleep for 8 hours, you have a couple hours after dinner, you're essentially fasted for somewhere between, 10, 12 hours from the time that you finish dinner, unless you're a snacker or whatever the case may be. But for most of us, by the time you finish dinner and maybe a dessert after you have dinner, to the time you wake up in the morning, and then only consume 90 to 200 calories until noon, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we are now at 14, 15, 16, 17.
I found this on the web.
Oh. My watch is talking to me. 17 hours, 15 hours that we haven't, like we've only had 90 calories. So your body is going to react to that by having cravings, by mood swings, with brain fog, all kinds of negative biofeedback. And that can just be fixed simply by consuming more whole food, nutrient dense calories in your breakfast meal, or both. You can do it this way, early morning or mid morning snack. Having that energy is important for the rest of the day, especially if you're going to chase kids, you're going to work out, you're going to cook dinner, you're going to do laundry, you're going to clean the house, all of the things that you have to do. We have to make sure that you're fueled for it. So anyway, I know I went off on a lot of different paths there, but I hope that you understand the overall goal was to give you the opportunity to start thinking about some anchors for your day, some foundations for your self-care, some ways to better ground yourself within your eating routine, within your goals, within the things that are making you stressed out. Like, start to really consider what your main stressor is and how you can start to override that with making some plans that will keep you less stressed through the rest of your day. So what we can't do, like, obviously we're not getting rid, you can say my job is super stressful, or my husband is stressful, my kids are stressful. We're not getting rid of that, right? We can't quit our jobs. We can't sell the children. We can't get rid of our spouses. But what we can do is be in control of the decisions that we're making in between those, and give yourself grace for the understanding that, like, there are going to be things that pop up throughout the day, especially when you have kids, that they're sick at school, or they forgot their lunch, or they fell down and hurt their knee, or you have to go check on them. Whatever the case may be, all of these things are going to pop up throughout the day. But what you can do, what you can control, are things like your meals. Let's say you have to pick up your kid at noon and you already have dinner in the crock pot, so you don't have to stress out about what to have for dinner with a sick kiddo at home. Those are the things that like, when we talk about stress relief, when we talk about mindset barriers, those are the things we have to think about. Everyone's like, a lot of people will hold on to their stressors and not let their stressors go in a capacity where, like, you feel like you have no control over them, which is true. You don't have control over what happens at school with the kids. You don't have control over what your husband does or what your boss does. You don't have control over that. You do have control, though, over what you know to be non-negotiables in your day, which is eating, movement, drinking water, having coffee, those kinds of things. Those are going to happen no matter what. So if you plan them and you let those be non-stressors, because they're already taken care of, and you don't have to do, it doesn't have to be the entire week worth of meal planning, meal prepping. It doesn't have to look like a Pinterest board. What it can just be is, like, Sunday night, you figure out what you're going to eat all day Monday. Monday night, you figure out what you're going to eat all day Tuesday. Like, and you start to create, again, I'm going to say anchors. I'm saying anchors a lot, I know. You start to create these anchors that are grounding you to things that you're going to do every single day that will make you less stressed. Having a sleep-wake time, having set-ish meal times, having planned meals, having planned movement, walks, workouts, that kind of thing, having planned downtime, having planned playtime, even with the kids. And if you need to shift it, you shift it. But if you're doing this consistently, you are going to feel a lot less stressed. You are going to be closer to whatever goals you have. You're going to feel more rooted in your routine, and you're going to feel like you have a lot more time in your day, because you're not spending 15, 20 minutes talking to your husband about what you're going to have for dinner. You already know that you're going to have a pasta dish with ground turkey and zucchini. And that's just what's for dinner on Wednesday nights, or whatever night it is. We don't realize how much time we're wasting with the discussions, with the back and forth. And so, like, you can get the family involved in all of this stuff too, but generally speaking, especially if you are somebody that is in charge a lot of the household stuff, the more that you can make these into pillars, you are going to feel solidly less stressed, and again, have a lot more control over your day. And I think that's highly important, especially for us busy ladies, busy moms, entrepreneurs, all of the things that we do. And just to wrap it up, you can also do this with your chores. So I have this thing where I do one thing for my health, one thing for my business, and one thing for my house every single day. So that could be as simple as just like wiping down the counters in the bathroom. That could be throwing laundry in. That can be whatever, whatever. I'm pretty good at, I like to work out. I like to go on walks. So I don't really have an issue with the doing things for myself, but sometimes I need to rest. And that's something that's really challenging for me. So you have to start to identify your challenges. For me, working out, going on walks, being very busy is not hard, but resting, taking some time off, ignoring social media, those things are hard. So I have to be very intentional about that. Those are the things that stress me out too, that I don't realize that I'm getting closer to burnout until I'm like, oh, I haven't taken a social media break in weeks. I just need a day off, some hours off, whatever the case may be. I try to do that in the evening before I go to bed, but I'm not always perfect at that either. So giving myself grace and working with the limitations that I mentally have, because I'm so type A and tend to like to always be busy, but I also need rest time. So again, determine what that is for you. Let's set your foundations for the day. Pick one or two for now that you can start working on to lower your stressors, work on your decision fatigue, and reach some goals that you have. And if you want to share them with me, I would love to hear them. Drop them in the comments here or shoot me a message. I will not be on next week. We are going out of town and I am actually taking a week off. So I'm going to try to be as much off social media as I can. You'll probably still see me write in the mornings because that relaxes me. That is a pillar that I don't give up. But I will not be doing Energy Shift next week, but I will be back the following week. And if you, as always, have anything you want me to discuss, whether it is health related, fat loss related, muscle related, nutrition, meal prep ideas, sleep, wellness, mindset, all of those things, I'm happy to help you troubleshoot. And if you want to come on and join me here, I would also love to have you on the show. So please let me know. I look forward to connecting with you guys, and I will see you in 2 weeks.
Struggling to feel your best? When energy is low and nothing seems to work, it's time for a new approach. Here's someone who guides real people to real, lasting wellness. Meet Erin McDonald, Certified Master Health Coach, Nutrition Coach, and NASM Personal Trainer. Helping you create simple, lasting routines that support a healthier, more energized you. Feel better, move better, live better. Because health isn't just a goal, it's a lifestyle you deserve. Take the first step toward feeling your best. Your future self will thank you. Connect with Erin today.